we were talking about was really illustrating a cautionary tale of when you don't have good leadership and when you have someone that hasn't stood by their values of why they decided to start the organization they did, how things can go wrong. Really, we were talking about the Theranos case and how they had all the ingredients for success. They had fundraising, they had good press, they had good BD partnerships. The technology maybe wasn't there and wasn't quite going to work anytime soon, but why, with all these other elements, weren't they successful? Part of that is because you didn't have good leadership at the top and you didn't have a good culture to really stand strong to the values of acting in service of patients, making sure that you had good technology, that you were taking care of your employees, these types of fundamental principles. So really what we were talking at the Ivey School of Business is how can we understand and leverage this story of Theranos as a cautionary tale for other leaders to pay attention to these factors when they're running their own business. If I could say any value, it was, again, acting in service of others. I went into the business of healthcare because I wanted to help serve patients and really committing to the fact that I was trying to build a technology, I was trying to help building an organization because I wanted to produce something that would be valuable to patients. Once that got violated, even though I did have a sense of loyalty to the organization, that particular value of being of service to patients really pushed me to do the actions I did, which was report the company to regulators to stop them from processing patient samples. It's just the commitment, again, the commitment to do the right thing. The feeling that if I stayed silent, like that was really purgatory, right? To not say something, knowing the information that I did, having the level of awareness I did, that I needed to do this thing because this was just the right thing to do. It's almost like you become blind to the personal cost and personal toll that it's going to take on you because the awareness of what the right thing to do is so apparent and so clear. I think in the case of Theranos, it's like we are directly providing information to patients that could dictate what kind of treatment they get. These are life and death decisions. So maybe that made it a bit easier for me to know that in deciding to come forward, it needed to happen. It was pretty black and white, the decision. And again, it's this why. This why are you doing what you're doing? Why did you decide to join the company? What's important to you in your life and the things that you want to contribute to society and to other people? These were the things that made my actions so much easier and justifiable, even though it may have taken a personal toll on me. I mean, having those doors open, right, and reminding people in your town hall meetings and everything, if you guys see a problem, we'd like to hear about it, and here are the opportunities for you to be able to come forward when you see a problem. And every organization is going to have their different process for doing that, whether they're small or medium or whatever else, and say we're really committed to doing this. Being a whistleblower still has negative connotations to it, and befriending people who have come forward and spoke out and to really say this is a valuable process. Even when it may give people more work or may cause what seems to be problems, we really need to highlight these scenarios where people came forward, they said something, and it recoursed a decision that could have caused a lot of problems. So I think those need to be illustrated within organizations a little bit more. And getting people who are going to ask you the hard questions about what it is that you're developing, right? Getting the right expertise on board, getting the right experience of people who can really ask you the hard questions within an organization on whether the technology you're doing or the service you're providing or whatever else. And I think another thing is employee voice. The people who are at the local level of being in the operations and dealing with the problems at a very frontline level, making sure that you pay attention to what they're saying and communicating and again, facilitating those discussions with them is really important as well. So the intention of really going into the speech was, again, highlighting that character was important. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about what went wrong in Theranos, and really we had a lot of the ingredients you needed to be successful within an organization, but really the management team made the difference in whether we were able to make progress on certain technologies over other, on the decision to decide to start to test on patients early, the decision not to listen to employees when they were raising the red flag, the decision to fire people who contested the problems that they were seeing within the organization. In that, paying attention to these issues. Do you have a good culture? Are you doing leadership development? If you run an organization, are you listening to the people who are speaking out within your organization? These are fundamentally the things that are really important to pay attention to, but probably haven't been highlighted as the main reasons why this particular failure happened.